So we're doing a little walk and talk. And so gonna go into Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde as well. So we've got two planets going retrograde, both in Pisces. So it's gonna be around the themes of the 12th house in Pisces. With Saturn going retrograde, it's like, for me, retrogrades are like magical portals, but it's a way to get in touch with the energy because it's not business as usual. And for me, I see them as little shamanic initiations into the energy of the planet. So it's a good time to revisit the energy and get really clear on it with how it works in your own life and your relationship to that dynamic. So with Saturn, it's about the work you have to do, putting the work in. There's a kind of like the duty and a responsibility. So it's time to get serious and sort of do the work. With planet, I mean, people say it's heavy. I actually think Saturn's it has a light face. It's just because this is the thing with the malefic planets, they get used to, you take on the hard stuff, it becomes easy. You be in the light stuff, it becomes hard. So how beautiful is this? Look at these trees. I'm just up walking Layla. Consuelo Huffington, the 9th. And so people give a big bad rap to Saturn, but I don't think it's the case. Everything you see was built by Saturn and its expression through the humans. A man who's had to get up and go to work every day for 30, 60 years, and that's the energy of Saturn. It's just getting in, getting it done, and doing the work. So it's might seem like a heavy drag, to do, but once you do it, it becomes easier. It just becomes the thing. It becomes natural. 30 days, put the practice in, and it just becomes unconscious. It's a pattern. So often you'll find, it's and there's malefic aspects to it, of course. Like cultural epochs and institutions that are kind of hardline with it. But that's, again, mostly it's the shadow aspect. People are having, sort of aversions to Saturn and its expression. So the best thing you can do is just engage the energy of Saturn and just get to work. If you're a individualistical type, you just got to, this might be harder for you to fit into the matrix, and then it's just about finding, work for you that fits with you, that works for you as an individual, But so Saturn retrograde over the next couple of months is going to bring up this Saturn and how you relate to work and what your work is. But the work will be of letting go and surrendering and experiencing the energies of Pisces and the 12th house, which is about, really it's about surrender. It's a crucifixion of the physicality. It's about suspending, Neptune, hangman. It's a suspending of the personal self, suspending everything, really, suspending your own experience, even suspending your thoughts, your feelings, suspending all that and allowing the spirit to inform you, actually, to surrender. And I mean, ultimately, in the highest sense, if you're doing things correctly and in the 6th house in Virgo and keeping things orderly and clean and living an ordered lifestyle, it's ultimately about receiving the Spirit of God, the great good spirit of the transcendence that the Christians talk about. I mean, all cultures have their different version of it. Native American, it's great spirit. Hindus, it's Brahma. you know. Everyone's got a version of it, but it's a transcendent spirit that animates all life and is transcendent to all life simultaneously. So, and ultimately it's loving and forgiving, and it's all-knowing. It understands our human suffering deeply, but it's beyond it, so it can also extend to us love and compassion for our situation and where we're at, and it forgives, it sees, it knows everything as well. It's all-knowing, all-loving, all-wise. It's all of the positive aspects that we get, cut off from with our limited experience, just the nature of that here we are as the extended souls, physically extended. We become cut off from that. So we'll go this way later. Come this way. So it's about getting in touch with that spirit, surrendering, that self-sense, and allowing and being communion and asking and calling forth that great spirit, and just having a communion with it, and having an understanding and a rapport with it, developing it. I mean, for a lot of people, the worldliness can just take over us, and we just get bamboozled and we become identified with our experiences, our suffering, our pain, our perspective, our experience, and that's all valid, but to experience the transcendent, we actually need to go beyond that. And good girl, let's go this way. Fine. Go off onto the fucking bush path of death. It's and I guess there's a lot of fear around this because groups, sects that probably practice this holy lifestyle in secret, who were probably persecuted and murdered in past life, for living a sacred life, that was sort of against the Roman evolution and the sort of the energy of that, or just the regular world. So there'd be resistance to it. There'd be resistance. There's this natural unconscious resistance to this state because it also does involve sacrificing yourself ultimately, so it's not an, at least to the thing, but it actually is easy, actually it is a lightness, but it does include a certain amount of surrender that's required. You're getting tired. But it's the love element and surrender. Meditation's a great way to help praying, fasting, all the things where you're asking and requesting a greater spirit than yourself to come in and take charge of your life, Christians know about this. They have a personal relationship with Jesus, and that's how they do it. But it can be accessed in various ways, and I don't think it's specific to any institution or organization. For me, I found my connection to this source in deep suffering and pain and in loss, and actually losing my best friend Apache, who was just the best loyal guy, and he just went through this really hard experience, no fault of his own, and it was just so sad. And so this is cool. Look, a little bike path. Layla, where you going? Come on, what are you doing? He's looking kind of crazy. But the wind, see, the natural forces, Pisces, the mutable signs, they so sick of this face, I'm just there's so much more. But the Pisces is the culmination of the mutable signs. So it's the forces of nature in their original state. The mutable signs are like the angelic aspect the primordial condition of consciousness that we all came from, connected to God, connected to spirit. You know, we're like angels. We're connected to love. We're connected to the Creator, and so, you know, Pisces is the culmination of that. So it's all about just going that and feeling connected to the Creator, connected to God, connected to love, connected to understanding. And so however you get there, I think that's the work, you know, with this Saturn retrograde. Neptune's there as well, like the last degree. So there's been confusion about that, and it's going to change significantly. I can tell you when Neptune and Saturn go into Aries, it's going to be a different ball game. So I think this thing with now is just make the most of it, make the most of Neptune and that spiritual attunement that comes from surrendering and being in communion with the forces of nature and love and the transcendent that's actually present in nature. And you get out in it and you ask for it and you're in your heart and you humble yourself in your ego and what you think you know, and you just ask for a greater power to be in control of your heart and your life, and to, you know, and to bring you to love and understanding. So that'll be the thing. I think just work on that. That'll be my suggestion for this retrograde of the next couple of months. Just work on that. Work on that however you do, whatever you got to do in your life. I think just be prayerful, just be asking, and just be humble and ask for a greater power than yourself to come into your life. You'd be surprised what can happen, you know. So anyway, that's gone past 10 minutes, so we're gonna try and keep it to that. And so that's that, and we'll see you on the next one. Layla, say goodbye. No, fuck you, I'm not saying goodbye.